Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Adi, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a kafedaki and join us.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Connecting Greeks. I am your host, Ari, and with me is Foti. Say hi, Foti.
Yasu.
And we got the big man, the legend, Angelo Tsarougas over in L.A. Angelo with the COVID brain. How are you doing?
Yassas Palikaria, Ari
Okay.
and Foti. Great. It's cooled down a bit in Los Angeles today. It's was it 82 today?
Oh, wow.
So nice day. It cooled down from the hundreds we were in last week. And, we're still unemployed. We're still doing the Connecting Greeks, which is better. What better way to connect with Greeks than during a pandemic?
Beautiful.
So because we can call people going, okay, come on the show. Nobody's saying no to us.
So, Angelo,
because nobody's working.
are you saying that when the pandemic's over, it's like Stefanistume?
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope not, but
Keep
I think
the pandemic going.
Whoa.
And so guys, you guys had a good week. Ari, you're in Washington.
Actually, I'm in Boston right now.
You're in Boston, and Forty, you're in Boston. I'm in Los Angeles. And the good thing about Connecting Greeks is that we've been connecting with Greeks all around the world, Greece, UK, Canada, and today, bringing on a guest. I met a guy. I did his show in Australia. As you guys know, I have a huge following in Australia, especially Melbourne, one of my favorite cities in the world. And he goes, I want to interview you. I met him when we were down there. His name's Daniel Sam, but we know him as Plastikos EP. Now, I nicknamed him Plastikos because it was Plastic EP, if you're Aussie. But he's Plastikos. And he's so much energy and so much fun. And I really love this guy. So let's welcome on to Connecting Greeks all the way from Melbourne, Australia. My good friend, and now going to be your good friend, Plastikos. Yasu Plastiko.
Yasu Plastikos.
Yes. Up on Melbourne. I got to tell you, I'm in lockdown. My wife's got me tied to the chair here.
And you're not going anywhere.
And listen, I got to tell you, you guys being overseas makes no difference because we could be in a leather. And I just want to ask you with this podcast, I noticed you're not coming on because it's Greek time. And you guys think I'm in Piraeus waiting for a ferry or something?
I like that.
Now, Plastic, let me tell you, I nicknamed you Plastikos because I love that. We try to Greekify things. I know, I'm just telling you right now, I heard as of now in Canada reverted to total lockdown again. They can't go to Europe. They can't come to the U.S. There's a complete third wave in Canada, and they've shut everything down. Bars, restaurants, productions. Tell us the situation in your words, and it's still Melbourne.
Okay, I've got to tell you what's happening in Melbourne at the moment. Tomorrow we're waiting for announcements. We weren't allowed to leave our house up to 5 kilometres. They made it like 20 or 25 now, but tomorrow's the big day. We were going to get some announcements.
Right.
But I want to talk more about you guys because I got to tell you, Angelo's so big in Australia. The guy sold out a tour and couldn't come. The day he was meant to come to see
I know, that sucks.
Is the day he did the interview, Massimo.
Yeah.
And you got to understand something. I'm born here in Australia, okay? My parents came from northern Greece, from Florina. I love it. I've been born and raised. I went to Greek school. I hated Greek school. But, I love the Greek spasmena. I go to a lather and I talk half English, half Greek. They don't care. I say to them, whoever I'm talking to, Katlaveri semena, timilao. And they go, yeah, that's it. Like, they love it. I love talking in and out of the Greek and the English. It's the best. And my wife, she's got a passport that says Vasso. Her name's Vicky. So every time we go overseas, they ask her, are you Vicky? Are you Vasso? Like, what is it? I always have these problems when I take my wife.
We all have these alternate names.
Right, exactly, right? Do you not notice that when you travel, the other game like Spiridula or all these names, and then you go by Sula, and you're like, I'm Evangelos, and and then you got Fortios and Ari,
Aristides.
Aristides. and we have all these names. And I always notice plastic. If you're Greek, like you said, it's like Tourette's. I have Greek Tourette's where we can talk in English, and we run right into it, and we don't even realize we're doing. Do you guys all find that happens?
All the time.
Yeah, but I love that. Let me tell you, when I went to Greece, the first thing I heard was I went to a little cafaneo, and the first thing I heard the boss say, "Taki and a neraki." I couldn't stop laughing. And look, we went to a place called Nafplion. You see this cup?
Yeah.
This is what I don't like. This used to be the capital of Greece, Nafplion. You see it?
Nafplion,
Right.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to buy 4 of these, 4 cups. My wife only let me buy 2. I mean,
Why did she only let you buy 2?
I wanted to buy 4. She said, buy 2. Like, what is it? What I need 2, I need 4.
She tries to reel you in.
Yeah, if they don't go, isn't it funny? Do you find, because, especially when you go to Greece, the hot spots for tourism in Greece are usually Australia, America. But I always find the Greeks get a kick out of the Aussies, the Americans, and the Canadians.
Oh boy.
For some reason, they look at the western side of where the Greeks are. Tell me, Plastic, when you went to Greece, what was obvious to you that was different about them compared to the way we were?
I'll talk about Greece, but I want to say, Melbourne here in Australia is like Canada. So when you talk to me, I've been to Canada, to Toronto.
Yeah.
I got relatives in Kitchener. It's like Melbourne. But going back to Greece, what you got to understand is we come from the north, but I like it near the beach. I mean, why wouldn't you go to places like Parga? First time I went to Parga, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's the greatest place, a seaside port. It's great. And also Paros. I went to Paros. I loved it.
Beautiful.
You go there and there's like 10 little taverns for your dinner time. And you go there and everyone's just gone to one. The other 6 are empty. And the little boats are there bringing in calamari. And they hang it up like on the clothesline. And you say, can I have calamari, palacaro, whatever, paracalo, my voice is coming, right? And they grab it off the line and they cook it on the spot and you eat like a king. Why would I be in Australia when I could go and live in Greece 6 months of the year and be treated like a king? It's the best place in the world. When I go there, I'll tell you, I went to Paros. I went into this little water. There was no people there, just 3 German tourists. The minute I went in that Nero, I swear to God, it was like I'm close to God and everything, every worry in your head just lifted. It was like I was reborn. That's the beauty of Greece.
Yeah,
Well
it's
said,
like a baptism every time you go there of life, right? If you think about it, it gives you that re-energy. My daughter, who's 8 years old, saying, "Daddy, can we go back to Greece?" We can't go. And let me ask you, because you're a proud Hellene like we are, and I love your show, and I love the way that on your show that you do on your podcast. The Plastic EP, because you interview a lot of people, musicians, artists, chefs, whatever. Do you find, is it just comes natural to you that the Greek side of us comes out regardless of what we do?
Exactly. And also know that being Greek, you got selective hearing. You only hear what you want to hear. It's like I talk to my wife, right? And I expect like normal questions, conversations. And it's like, this is the best example I can give you. I say to my wife, where are the nuts in the kitchen? Like, nuts to eat. She goes, they're in the kitchen. That's not what I asked her. I asked her where. And then she says, in the cupboard. So I go in the kitchen and there's 20 cupboards. And now we're playing the game, pick the cupboard. So after I go through 19, what is it? I find the last one at the bottom.
It's always the last cupboard. It's like, what is it? And it's funny you say that, because Greeks are so literal. And I do this. I do this in my comedy, but I pick out the idiosyncrasies that we have, and it's always like one guy. My friend said this the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. Because I made a joke about him. He goes, "Ika katina sudoso la tora vestodino." So it's so funny that I had something I was going to give you, but guess what? Now I'm not giving it to you.
Oh, dude!
And only Greeks will say that stuff.
My mother has a famous saying that you just said. "Θα σου λέγα κάτι, αλλά τώρα δεν θα σου το πω." I was going to tell you something, but now I'm not going to tell you.
Who talks like that? We do.
Passive
Yeah, but a
aggressive.
lot of Greeks growing up, kids, they either cop the pandofla to the head, like you say, or the belt.
Yeah.
My mother was awful with the badofla. She never had good.
Oh yeah,
She's like
But
a ninja
plastic.
with the padofla.
yeah.
Boomerang.
But if you imagine our parents now, if there was child services, then all our parents, where's your Yam Papu? In prison. Yeah, Yam
That's right. Do you know the
in
best
prison.
one? At the back of my house, right, I've got a little gate. So what happens is it was night time and I bought 3 pizzas. So I looked at my gate and I thought it was unlocked. So me going to check it, it was actually a bit wet. It was like rainy. I thought I'll go check the gate. So when I went, I slipped. And the 3 pizzas flipped over inside the boxes. I collected the boxes, went inside. And what I did is I scratched my leg, right? Like there was some skin. So a friend of mine said, what happened to your leg? Did your wife do that? I said, no. My wife does head injuries.
Yeah, but you see, this is the thing. Right now, let me ask you, how important is it to have humor this time? We're 8 months into this pandemic. People are losing their freaking minds. And I think we need, am I right? I think we need a little bit of humor, but I think people are losing humor, meaning they're so pent up. I go, look, none of us are working. Everybody wants financially, we're trying to keep it together. We have families. How important is it now? Even what we're doing, guys, right now, how important, because people still have to loosen up and they don't. And especially, and I'll choose Greeks. Greeks do have a good sense of humor. We're getting better. But I find like a lot of Italian or Persian or Armenian cultures, our cultures like to make fun of people, but we don't necessarily like it when people make fun of us. How true is that?
That's true, because we're Greeks. We can't help it. No one can beat us. You know, it's in our ego. And
DNA.
also, I want to say what you've said is right. We need to entertain people. They need it more than ever. It's no big deal. But within 4 or 5 months, I've done 250 interviews, and every day people are thanking me. Thank you. I wake up, I watch your show. It keeps me entertained. And I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not about left art. It's not about money. It's not about nothing. We need entertainment now more than you think. Yes. And this is what makes you on the net. The fact that you guys have got a program that reaches out to all the Greeks in the whole world, and even they're going to watch this in the lather. What more do you want? Yeah. You've got to be so proud. I just got to say, Fotis, are you related to John?
It depends. It depends. What's in it for me?
I'm saying, are you related to John Stamos from the TV show or not? Because you look a bit like him.
I wish I was, brother. I wish I was.
Okay, sorry. I had to ask.
I've been lucky to hang out with John a few times. I told him, my mom loves your house, Yamato Spiti. And he didn't understand it, Full House. He was the what? In Greece, you know what they call your show, Yamato Spiti? And John's Greek isn't very good. He goes, Yamato Spiti? I go, yeah, Full House. Oh, Yamato Spiti, yeah. Because plastic. For the exception of Ari and Forti, most Americans they're kind of highly dysfunctional when it comes to speaking Greek. Not all, but most. And because we grew up in Canada and Australia, first generation, and in all fairness to our American friends, you're 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th generation now Greek here. So there's more generations of it. And I excluded you, Forti, and Ari. So I don't want Americans getting mad at me. God. But but AP, let me ask you, your show. Now tell us about your show. Tell us who you've been interviewing. I want the world to know what your show is about so they can watch you on your show.
I appreciate it. If you go to Plastic EP Live TV, there's 250 interviews. I'll just mention a few people in the world that I've interviewed. Susie Quattro, love her.
Nice.
Right? Mary Wilson from the Supremes.
Wow. It's amazing. She's big, right?
Yeah. Also, the one who did that song, Young Girl, Gary Puckett, and the Union Gap got Gary on.
Yeah.
You remember that song, Young Girl,
Get Out of My Heart? Yeah. How old are you?
Ron Dainty, Sugar. Oh, the guy.
Those guys are old now.
Nah, they're young. They're still going and they're still performing.
Bravo.
And then I've interviewed a lot of Beatle people too that write books. The list doesn't stop. Even like now, I've got interviews going day, night. I get up at 5 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't even know what time it is anymore.
Bravo.
And
what time is it now?
Greece.
What time is it in Melbourne now? What time is it in Melbourne?
Now, I'll tell you, it's 10 to 12 in the afternoon. And as you know...
perfect. That's perfect.
Angelo, once the shops open up, we'll be able to go to Oakley and have souvlaki down there. There's a little suburb called Oakley. It's Angelo's favorite place. Tell them about it.
Really is. So So for people that don't understand, Melbourne, where Plastikos is, Melbourne, Australia, outside of Greece, is the largest Greek-populated city in the world. And it's got a wonderful Greek community. I mean, wonderful. So I think in the succession of Greek cities in the world, I could be wrong, it goes Athens, Thessaloniki, Melbourne, New York, Toronto, Chicago, Montreal, I want to say London, then Boston, and then it goes on. And so imagine, guys, think of a suburb in Boston like Arlington or one of those, or Quincy, but the whole suburb is Greek because you have Brunswick and you have Oakley. And I mean Greek Zacharoplastia. I'm talking Estatoria. There's so much there, and it's like being in Glyfada.
Nice.
With complete Greeks, and the Aussies love it. And Lonsdale Street, where I did my shows, which is in more downtown in the city of Melbourne, was the old Greek town. And like most Greek towns in Toronto, Detroit, they move out of the city, then they go to the suburbs. I'm sure in Boston, same thing, where they are, in Washington, wherever you want to go. So it's amazing. Like you go there and you're like, it's weird because if you go to Oakley, you think you're in a suburb of Athens, yet you're in Australia.
Now, you flew from Los Angeles to go to Australia?
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
And how long is that flight?
Look, from LA to Australia to go to Melbourne from here is about 14 and a half, 15 hours.
Straight?
Direct. Yeah.
Oh,
Qantas. So it takes about a day. And the thing is, when you go to Australia, you lose a day because of the time. They're 16 hours ahead of us, 15 or 16. And then you go to different ones. So that's where we go. But if anybody can ever, you want to talk about philoxenia, and the hospitality, you're not going to find better. And I'm not saying it because plastic's on. The hospitality of the Greeks in Australia is second to none. You feel like you're home. They just have a weird accent. That's all. There's kangaroos running around. But it's great. I love it there.
I just got to say something. There's a guy here, for example. We got the best food in the world. There's a guy here's Italian, went to Italy and won the world title for the best Italian pizza in the world, and he's got 3 restaurants here in Melbourne. Wow, so why would I go to Italy when I just go down the road? It's amazing. The best cappuccinos, the best coffee.
The coffee. Hold on, I'll stop you right there, Plastic. Guys, they're coffee snobs there, but I'll tell you why. Their coffee is fantastic there. Aussies have great coffee. They're not used to the coffee we like Dunkin' Donuts and Tim Hortons. They got. We have gourmet and the Starbucks, right?
What makes the coffee good in Australia?
Dude, I don't know. It's good. It's the best coffee.
The beans, the water.
No, they buy the best coffee in the world and they have it here. That's what it is. I've been to Canada. I'm not going to say anything about Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
My relatives.
But we're addicted. Plastic, we're addicted to Tim Hortons. But
and he goes to me, have a coffee, and I looked at him and I said, are you for real?
Just like we're addicted to Starbucks here.
And Starbucks is Camino Cafe. It's burnt.
Yeah.
But the Americans love Starbucks. Well, mind you, America, the world. It's but they love that burnt flavor. But you go to Australia, every coffee's perfect. I don't know how to explain it to you. They make the perfect coffee, and they have amazing chocolates there, too. Their chocolate is phenomenal there.
Absolutely
You make me want to move to Australia now.
It's
Man,
great.
you don't know how good it is, but I'll be honest with you now, and I'll talk to you like friends.
Yeah.
If I had the choice now, if this continues the way it's going, and I had the choice of being in Greece or being in Australia, don't get me wrong, but I know somebody that's living in Spain, and they're living like the best, beautiful life.
Yeah.
If you had to come to Australia or go to Greece to all the fabulous beaches and the sun, you cannot beat Greece. And I don't mean that any other way, because Australia's changed. We want everyone to come here. But the cost of living has gone through the roof here.
It's very expensive. Yeah.
It's like no matter what you make, it's going up and up and up, the cost of living. And the way it's going, I could see myself 6 months or 8 months in Greece, just lying near the beach there.
Don't blame you.
Having my beautiful Mediterranean dinner or lunch, walking around in my shorts. I mean, come on, you know.
Well, let me ask you, Plastic. Any country that still has the queen on their money is getting bent over the coffee table. Am I right or wrong about that? Because you guys are Commonwealth. Wherever the Vasilisa, wherever her mutra are on the money, is it fair to say that it's a taxation brought to us by the British, and they've kept it that way? So whether it's New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Barbados, South Africa, any country that was under British rule that keeps a parliamentary system and has that who is married to a Greek on her money, because I love Australia, but like Canada, everything's become so bloody expensive.
Exactly like Melbourne now. It wasn't like this before. This is what I'm trying to say to you. You got to ask yourself down the track, I'll tell you what, a simplistic life is the best life. So what I'm saying is if you can stretch your money 3 times more by living in Greece, why wouldn't you go? You know one thing about the Greeks? They live on islands and they live to 100, 110 years old. Yeah, because you know why? They don't have stress. They got the sun. They got the best meals. What do? Wake up, walk around, and they don't know what they're doing. They go to the cafaneo, and you don't call that a life? That's a zoe. That's a life. You want to have problems, stay puise and cop the problems. Que doe come problemata, which we don't even need. Now, the whole sphere of the whole world now has changed. It's not like the 60s. It's 2020. You can go to Greece and do your internet show from there, and I'll tell you what, you got beautiful women walking past Parga. Have you ever been to Parga, the seaside resort?
I've never been. I've heard.
I will now that you mention it.
Parga sounds nice. But Plastic, do you find now we're at the age now where we thought our parents were crazy? You know what I told my wife the other day? And I kid you not. I've been fortunate to travel the world, do shows, televisions, whatever. I enjoy my life, what I do work-wise. But you know what I told my wife the other day? When our daughter finishes school here in California, the day after, I want to go to Greece. And day before she has to go back to school, come back to California. And I live in California. Here. Taxes are going up. In America, people are upset right now. We have an election in 2 weeks. Look, I'm a Canadian living in America. I'm not going to crap on America because I do love America. My wife's American. My daughter's American. I love California. I love America. But the people are not in harmony right now. There's a lot of griña. There's a lot of freaking zilia. People don't know what's going on next. And I think for us as Greeks, we're lucky. And I've always said this, people, everybody in the world should go to Greece once in their life. And they'll look at me going, and I'm not saying because I'm Greek, go Malakis once to Greece, you come back and tell me. And I always said that, even when I was a travel agent, I used to tell people, go to Greece once in your life, and then you come back and tell me. I've never met somebody who didn't go to Greece once in their life, come back and tell me they didn't want to go back again. Very rare. Your thoughts?
I have to agree, but then you hear all the funny stories about how sometimes our friends who visit Greece kind of get taken a little bit of advantage sometimes.
That's the other group. Well, a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
That's tourism in general.
Hold on.
You're right,
that happens in Boston. I had this cab driver from Kiev in Boston. Oh, Malakas Mispiga. I told him shirt in Boston Towers. This guy was taking us to Logan Airport. Anywhere you look, taxi drivers are whores anywhere in the world.
You're right. 100%.
But Greeks are the crown.
Yes, they are. But to your point, to your point, the experience energy in Greece is unmatchable. Ari and I have been getting a lot of emails and feedback from folks who are visiting, Americans who are visiting Greece and go to Santorini, and they come back and it's like they went to heaven. They never felt anything like that when they went to Greece, and they can't get it replicated anywhere else.
Right.
True. Yeah. I just want to say, when you go to Greece, the best trip I ever had in Greece was I went with my brother-in-law, Yanni and Eleni, right? So we've organized it. Me and my wife and my in-laws. Right? No, sorry. I excuse that. Sister-in-law and brother-in-law. Sorry. So anyway,
in-laws, yeah.
No, anyway, we arrive in Athens airport. I've got to tell you a story. So my wife, I tell her before we go, do not take luggage from Australia. Just take a valitza, one bag. Do not take more. Do not buy everything there. It's cheaper. So here we go. We go in Athens airport. My brother-in-law went there like 7 years ago, and he said when he went to the airport, everybody knows him when it comes to rent a car. When it comes to car, they know him. Okay, so anyway, we arrive in Athens airport. We need a car straight away. This is the best way to travel. Get off the plane, get a car, and drive around Greece. So anyway, we go there. He tries to talk to them at the desk, and he's not getting through to them. So he calls me over, and I said, we need a car. She goes, Echo, this little small one, this medium size. I said, listen, do you see over there 2 women with 20 bags? I can't put my wives in that car. How am I going to fit the 20 bags I go to? Right? So anyway, she goes, all right, and Duxie, I'll see what I can do for you. I've got a BMW. She shows me a picture of a BMW. I said, I can't even fit in that, right? So then she goes, all right, I can give you a station wagon, BMW. And I said, that's all right. Can I get all my valises in it? My 20 cases that were stupid enough to bring from Greece? She goes, yeah, should be all right. So anyway, we rent this car, we drive it around Athens 3-4 days, and then we're going to go to northern Greece. So before we go, we're driving around, my brother-in-law and I, and he's driving around Athens because it's crazy. You don't want to drive in Athens. That's the first rule. Anyway, the brake light comes on. There's no brakes on the car. So we ring up the aerodrome, the airport, and we say to the people that we rented the car from, έχουμε προβλήματα, right? Τα φρένα δεν δουλεύουν, we're going to die here. We're going to kill ourselves driving around with no brakes in Athens. So anyway, they said, listen, φέρεις το αμάξι, στο αεροδρόμιο θα αλλάξουμε το αμάξι. In other words, come to the airport, you drive, and we'll change the car over for another model. Instead of getting the black BMW wagon, we'll give you the white one, and we'll check the brakes, everything's all right. So half doing suicide and getting back to Greek airport, we swap over car. Now we're on the road. Now we're going up north in a BMW. And the one thing I can tell you about Greece, you're traveling, I think, what is it? 140 kilometers. The freeways there are the best because the Germans made them, right?
Yeah, they're nice freeways now,
You go there and you just drive where you want. And I'll tell you what, we stopped at all these beaches and we had the best holiday, nothing planned. Just drop in and do what you want. And we love Parga. We went
now,
there.
Parga is in Macedonia, right?
Parga is just before... It's before...
Thessaloniki?
No, it's down... I think it's what's called Larissa.
Oh, Larissa. Okay. That's right. That's what I was thinking.
It's on the other side, but I've never been there. I'll tell you what, it's heaven on earth. I'm telling you, it's heaven on earth when you go to places you don't know. So anyway, what happens? This is a story. You got all the backpackers down the bottom of a hill like 3 miles away coming up to swim at the beach. So we parked the BMW and we got bags like stupid idiots. And I come out, we're looking for a hotel. And there's different hotels. I find a hotel 20 meters from the beach, like 60 feet. You look in your bedroom and there's your beach. And I go to my wife and everybody, let's get this hotel. They're giving us the best hotel here. And they're going, oh, we might be able to find something better. I said, don't be silly. You're not going to get closer than this one.
Right on the beach.
On the beach. So we ended up getting it. And the best place to stay at, the best beach and the best taverns, the best everything.
Nice.
So that's fun. But isn't it funny how you carry those memories? Because I remember driving. We were in Rhodos, then we went to Athens, then we down to Monavasia, and my dad's from Sparti, so we were outside in Mavrovouni, not to be confused with something else. And we were there, and we had a pension guest house. And I through my cousin, and my wife goes, let's look. And I was able, I would say the walk, you can see from the house, I'd say maybe 70 to 100 meters from the beach. You cross the road, and we're 70 euros a night in August, which is unheard of.
Wow.
And I said, and I always tell people, where else can you still go in the world? Now, things are more expensive now, even in Greece. If you go to Santorini's its own destination, like Mykonos, and jet setters from around the world go there. But, if you go to the Horia, which I took my wife, they loved it. We brought Yaya, I have my daughter. If you find, like you said, in Parma and all these places, if you go, you can find those places. And that's the thing. And the Greeks, for the most part, if you know the deal, if you got the Greek, I call it the Greek, I'm Greek discount deal. If they know you're Greek, then it's a different story. You're right. If they know you're not Greek, skipse. But
exactly. But let me tell you, Angelo, this is the best story, right? We haven't gone to Greece yet, and I'm picking out places from the internet where to go. So I find a place called Nikki Beach, right? Nikki Beach, because all the big celebrities go there. Cristiano Ronaldo's been there. This other model's been there. Everyone's been at this place. Never heard of it. So we're on the road, and as I said, we're coming out of Sparta, and we're coming down the bottom of Greece. And I said, we've got to check out this place, Nikki Beach Resort, right? I ring up, and Vicky goes to me, all right, you talk to him. And I spoke to him even in Greek, and I go, πώς πάμε καλά. Είμαστε από Αυστραλία, right? Θέλω να πάρω με 2 δωμάτια για ένα νύχτα. Τι μπορείς να κάνεις για μας? Έχουν έρθει από a long way. We come from a long way. She said to me, look, you're lucky. We got a special going. We can do you 2 nights at this place for something like 300 or 400 euros. That's breakfast, everything. And we turned
for 2 nights. That's good. That's good.
Piasto, and we went to Nikki Beach. It's like 4.5-star or 5-star resort. You got to go there. Let me explain. And when you go there, it's the most beautiful pools, swimming pools on the beach. The beach isn't that great, but everybody's in the swimming. Right. They've got models coming in, right, because they got these afternoon discos on a Sunday. My brother-in-law is sitting on the beach, right, watching who's coming in the little caravia, right? Nice. I loved it. And then we got to go to this island called Spetses, which is only 15 minutes away from Nikki Beach. You can either get the big ferry or these little speedboats that take in 7 minutes. So I go up to the lady at the counter at the resort, Nikki Beach Resort, and I said, how do I go to Spetses? She goes, you got to go and see Costa. You got to go to Costa. Costa, right? Costa. I'm going, okay, Costa. So anyway, we get in the car, we start driving down, and I'm looking. Where's Costa? We got to find this guy Costa, right? And then I see this sign, and it says Costa. It's the place Costa. It's not a person.
Right.
So there's the first stupid thing. And then as soon as we park, I see the big ferry, but then I see these little caravia, these little speedboats, and they take you across in 7 minutes. So what happens is we got on these little speedboats, and Prince Charles, he went there with Diana when they had their honeymoon. I believe they went to Spetses.
I think Spetses was one of their stops, yeah.
We checked out this island and went for an afternoon, and what happens is when the little speedboat takes you, you then walk around the island. They don't allow cars. They don't allow nothing.
Right.
They have this beautiful lunch on the beach. Pick any tavern you want. There's no people. So we had our lunch there, and then the great thing was a speedboat wasn't meant to come on this side of the island where we'd walked. And I see this guy dropping off 5 people. So I think to myself, well, I'm going to walk now 50 minutes back. If this guy takes me from where I am now, let's go back to the resort. So I go, hey, ela re, Boris Paris mas piso. He goes, yeah, ela, like an illegal.
Stop it.
So 7 minutes, boof, back to the resort. That's what you remember in these trips.
Yeah.
Well, you know the artist Leonard Cohen, the legend. Leonard Cohen met a girl in Paris named Suzanne and followed her to Hydra. Because you got Hydra, Spetses, and Aegina, and stayed for 10 years.
Wow.
I imagine that's the magic of Greece, and like you saw the women. So when I hear these stories, Greece is so like that. We were in Santorini, and there's a bus. I go, "Pu bus, paus to Stiboli." My wife goes to get in, and she goes, "Where are we going?" I go, "I don't know. It's Santorini. Pull up on me. It's an island. We go down there." And my wife, it's so funny. She goes, "You just got in a bus. You don't even know where it's going. Who cares?"
That's right.
And you can do that, like you said in Greece. Pupas. Best mesa, and that's what I love. See, everybody wants that spontaneous life. Everybody wants to go somewhere and be local and spontaneous. Well, guess what? Go to Greece because everything is local and spontaneous.
100%.
That's exactly right. I got to say, when I went to Santorini, I had a car, so I'm driving around, and when you're going around these curves, it's not like there's a a little fence or something.
Really? Yeah.
There's a drop of 500 miles straight to the ocean if you miss the turn. Right? I'm not joking. There's no barrier. Imagine that night. It's crazy. So anyway, when you're going these roads in Santorini, that's the biggest drop you could ever have in your life. You've gone over the hill. You've gone for the ride of your life. You're gone. Anyway, as I'm driving around, you see me Petris. You see little stones falling, and I'm driving, and I'm saying to my wife, if one of those big stones falls, we're gone, because the car wasn't big, right? And I'm looking up, and these big Petris are dropping little ones down, and I'm going, what's happening? That's what I love about Greece. It's so unpredictable.
It's too funny, but at the same time, it's what makes you want to go back. I think everybody that goes to Greece has a unique adventure. You can't go to Greece twice and have the same trip. Never going to happen. But let me ask you, I mean, it's obvious about the sun and the sand and the hospitality, but it really is the people. To me, the people are, I was at a restaurant in Sparti, and I was sitting there and I'm looking at the menu, and the guy's behind me. And you wouldn't hear this anywhere else in the world. I go, I don't know what I ate. And the guy looks at me and goes, and it's so funny, you fat bastard. Are you going to eat something or are you going to read a book? And I started laughing. And the guy looks at me and goes, because to them, it's Tuesday. But for us, it's hilarious. When you go there, it's just hilarious. But that's good. So Plastic, tell us, because you've been able to travel, and the guys, I want Ari and Forty, who should go to Melbourne one day, and they should go. Do you find right now, with everything the way it is in the world, do you think we're at a point in our lives now that is the reason why we talk about Greece? Because they've had hardships there too. They've had tough economic times. They're coming out of it now with this new prime minister. I think he's doing a great job in Greece, and they're on the road to recovery. But do you think now, especially with the pandemic, that the reason we talk about and love Greece so much is because it just reminds us of happier times in our life? Is that fair to say?
Yes, but also I've got to say this, because you've got to look at economics. Now, I can tell you, Angela, if you're not in Los Angeles and you don't have all these commitments, and you can be in Greece on the net doing your show, there's no difference. But I'll tell you what, the lifestyle and the way you'll live there, you'll live like a king. So it doesn't matter what you do in your life. You've got to ask yourself, what do you want? I'll give you an example. Right. If you wake up every day and you just want material things, that's not what life is about. It's going back now to simplistic times, as I see it. I don't need 20 suits. I don't need 5 cars. I want the best food. Like a Mediterranean dish, I make it at home. I love it. Fresh fish. I love it. When I go to Greece, I don't go not to have a good time. I go there and I spend. And the amount of money I spend is, if I see somebody, I'll buy them something. You know what I mean? It's like cafetes. Not a problem because it costs us nothing. But it's the people there that respect us as being Greeks or Australians or Americans or Canadians. The fact that we go there, they need our patronage. They need our tourism. Yes. Now the tourism in Greece needs us more than ever. And by you doing this show, I can tell you this particular show that we're doing now is the best advertisement for Greek tourism, because I tell everybody, as soon as this pandemic's over, go to Greece. If you're going to come and see me in Australia, and I'm talking to you now, Mr. Elinas, right? Go to Greece. Because I agree. I can tell you, you're going to have a better time, and your money's going to go further, and you're going to be more relaxed, and you're going to just go there and forget all this fusseria. That's how I see it, Nick.
You come back as a different person.
Now, gentlemen, I agree with you, but I'm going to be a devil's advocate. It's easy to go to Greece with money you've earned in America, Canada, and Australia. It's tough for the Greeks to make money sometimes. And yes, my heart goes out to them because they got butchered this year in tourism. They usually average around 35 to 40 million tourists a season in Greece. Italy, Spain, and France get about 80 million, believe it or not. The Greeks, for a country not as big, does about half the tourism. And I know for a fact that a lot of hotels, restaurants, transportation companies have taken excuse me, a big hit this year in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier, and that's why I try to keep the balance. And I agree with what Plastic is saying, but at the same time, it's easier to go with money that you make in your pocket. It's somewhere where you can earn dollars. But I think it's slowly going to change in Greece. Microsoft is opening there. They're creating jobs, and I think that's the key to it. If young people can have employment and work in Greece, because you want them to have money in their pockets to go to comedy shows, to go to cafes, to go to whatever. So I always try to remind ourselves that, yes, Greece has all these great things, but I also find it easier if I can travel to Greece with 10 grand that I made in the States. You know what I'm saying? I always try to keep that balance. So, yes, on one hand, there is no place like Greece, but it's also easier to go there when your pockets are full of cash.
Yeah, I totally agree. But all I'm saying is, if you go to Greece and you want a lifestyle, you're going to get a lifestyle, because now in America, in Australia, we're becoming so complicated, our lives. That simplistic has gone. And there, it's still there, because they know how to live. They have a lifestyle where they don't put the money first. Even though they need money, they're still living, but they do have a life. And you go there with your money.
No, I agree.
And you're king. You got no idea. You are king. Go and find one of those beautiful seaside resorts, and I'll tell you what, you won't get up. You need a bulldozer to tow you away. It's that great.
Yeah, no, there's no argument, like I said. But I also find we have to keep things in a perspective, right? Because I remember, it's, you can go to Hawaii and Greece and these great places in the world, and the difference is when you're on vacation, it's one thing. And I do agree they live even when they're not at vacation time, it's a better life. But at the same time, I also find it's depressing, because we're going through it now that we're not working. And I know, look, I live in California. The weather's great. The beaches here, whatever. But, you could be anywhere in the world. If you're not working and not earning, it's a shit show. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? If you own 3 houses in Australia, you're better to rent the 3 and go and live in Greece and live off the rent.
Well, that's the way to do it. If your money's working for your money, go Panato and go to Greece. And I think that's what the Greeks are doing now. I know I have cousins in Canada with properties, this and that, in America. And I asked myself, I know this guy here in Los Angeles. He owns about 8 shopping plazas, this Greek guy. He's a bit of a miser, but he's made so much money. And I looked at him, I said, hey, when are you just going to go? He's like 83. And lafta. And I look, go enjoy yourself. And he goes, I go, it's COVID. How much time do you have left? And, I saw him the other day. He came up to me. There's a group of us that go out once a week. And he goes to me, because I'm working. I went home, talked to my wife, and I said to her what you told me. I was mad at you when you said it to me, because you were making it sound like I didn't know how to enjoy my life. And you know what his wife said to him? You don't know how to enjoy your life. I go to him, how much money do you need? Well, you know what's going to happen? You're going to die. Your kids are going to take it, buy Ferrari, snuff it up their nose, off of hookers, golos in Vegas and stuff. And they're going to say, Dad left us a party. Go enjoy it, man. Go to your Choreo there in Greece and give them money for the soccer team. It's funny. I think what happens, and Plastic made a good point. We're so involved in our lives and lafta and work. We forget the most important thing. Breathe and live. That's the whole idea.
Here in Australia, I'll tell you how it is. The first generation, like my mum and my dad, they made the wealth. I'm the second generation. I hold the wealth. The third generation gonna spend the wealth. That's what it is.
I like that.
Well said.
Make, hold, and spend. Well said. I like that.
But I'm telling you the truth. I'm hanging on to everything, and my son's telling me, "Why don't you sell, Dad?" And I'm going, "Don't you want to have something from your grandfather?"
It's true.
You know what? I'll be gone, and these people will be rich. Oh, don't worry about me. This is why it's not about money. I'll tell you something. If you want to know how my take is on life, this is my take on life. Life is like a tree with apples. Now, you can't wake up every day and say, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $1 million. I'll give you an example. Most people I know that go and work at banks, they cop so much stress by the time they finish their careers and they come out with their superannuation, they don't live long because of all the stress they've got.
All the stress. Yeah.
Right. So now, life is like apples. You got to find that balance. You can't take too many apples off the tree because for one apple you take, there's a counterbalance. So what you want is enough money and I need my health. When I go money, that's what happens. You pay with your health. You got to find this happy medium every day. It's like the outer limits, that line like that. Right. You got to be like this every day in that center. And no matter if life goes up or down, you got to find that medium, happy medium every day and deal with it. Because I can tell you something. I don't want to deal too much in my life. But my family have copped a lot of family tragedies. I've lost a lot of members of my family from accidents. So I don't want to get into it. But what I'm trying to say is my dad was very young and he got killed, all right? Now, I know my dad didn't worry about it because he lived every day.
Right.
So the point is, you don't know how long you're going to be here for. Like you said before, Angelo, you can have all the money in the bank. It doesn't mean nothing. I don't know what you got in your bank book. You don't know what I got in my bank book because no one cares. Because when you go, it makes no difference.
Doesn't matter.
What counts is, what do you do every day of your life to enrich it? And not the material things, I got to buy a suit or I got to buy a Ferrari. These are false. You need to be able to say, I pay my bills. I live comfortably. I eat great meals. I have great friends. There's the wealth there. It's how you live your life. That's all it is. Simplistic.
Well,
yeah.
I agree.
I couldn't disagree. Oh, man, that's right on the money. Right on the money.
But, plastic, I found, having gone meeting the Greeks in South Africa, like Johannesburg, Cape Town, especially Australia, I find the further away Greeks are from Greece, the more Greek they tend to be. Isn't that true? Because, I mean, guys, if you go to Australia, there's times where you think you're actually in Greece and certain neighborhoods and stuff and the people, the way they are. And do you find that, is that ring true to you, Plastic? I mean, I know even in America, it's a melting pot.
True. That's totally true. And one thing I can tell you about the Greeks, like you go to Canada, they got Greek clubs. You go to different places. The Greeks are there. The Greeks are established. The Greeks are everywhere in the world. And you know what? It's their heritage and they're proud of who they are. And that's why you find the Greeks, they're just in their nature. We're close to nature. We're close to Greece. In other words, I might be born here, but my parents were Greek. Automatically, that makes me Greek heritage. And I'm so proud of it. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of being Australian. But I try to explain to my wife, when you get the passport and you go overseas, for example, and you've got a passport, I'm just giving an example. Right. When they open the passport in Greece, your Australian passport, you're an Australian Greek. Because you used to be, I know, I'm Greek. I said, no, you're Australian Greek. If you're born in Canada, that's where you're born. You're a Canadian Greek.
Born in America.
You're proud of who you are, but you know where your parents come from, and you're just as Greek.
Ari, your thoughts?
Yeah, you're saying it very well. I agree with it completely. I mean, Greeks have, if you look at, I just read an article where Greece is the most, they use the word narcissistic, but I don't use that word, the most proud of their heritage.
Nationalistic.
Yeah. I feel like wherever you go, like you said, you could go anywhere. I don't know. In Boston, we have Greek clubs. We used to have Greek nights. I don't know any other nationality really that does that. And it's like I always wonder. I was like, why is it the Greeks that have like this whole like subculture, but not these other nationalities? Is it because we're fresher here, or we haven't been assimilated? But we have been, and we've been here a long time. It's just we have that pride in our culture.
Well, Plastic, it's been wonderful. We're approaching the hour, but before we let you go, and we're going to ask you for all your credentials, Forty has some questions that we ask all our guests. So it's Forty's corner now, and it's just a little rapid, light questions that he's going to ask you, and we want to take your take. We do it every show, so
I'm
40,
ready.
It's all yours.
So Plastic,
I'm ready for everything.
You mentioned to you one thing that's important is eating well, and you discuss about fresh fish. You discuss about a good meal, but tell us your favorite and least Greek food. Your most favorite and least favorite Greek food.
My favorite Greek food is souvlaki. But you gotta understand, even though I'm Greek, I love Italian food. I love it.
So your favorite is souvlaki, right? But what
I
about
have to say souvlaki, right? And I'll say my least favorite is fuck yes.
fuck yes. Why is that?
I don't know. I find it no taste. That's just me.
Oh, then
depends how they're made. Yeah.
And then you mentioned about you traveled, through to all parts, the north, the south. But if you could just pick one place in Greece that would be the place for you to spend the rest of your life, what would that destination be?
Well, from what I've seen, I like Parga and I love Lefkada, but Lefkada is sort of I have to say, from what I've seen in Greece, I love Parga. I found another place that's one of the best 200 beaches in Greece. It's hidden away. No one knows where it is. I've been there. I can't mention the place where it is. It's near Akrata.
Okay.
Right? But there's a little bay there, and that place is called Nikki Beach too, and no one goes there. It's totally isolated. It's a total isolated beach, but one of the best 200 beaches in Greece. That's another place that's a hidden spot. Greece has got so many great places. You could go there, no one finds you, and I can tell you what, you live the greatest life. As Angelo said, you just need money.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I
have one more question that's kind of off topic. How did you get the term or the name Plastic?
Okay, the name's Plastic EP. And what it comes is, the EP comes from the Fall record from the 60s. It's 2 songs on one side, 2 on the other, the extended play. You remember those records?
Yeah.
Songs,
yeah.
got a cardboard cover. And instead of it being made of vinyl, you can use the term plastic. It's made of plastic instead of vinyl. Plastic EP. What happens is I was in a band in 1981. You can look it up on the net. It's called Plastic EP and the Records. And then what happens is after the first year, we changed the name to The EPs. And I've written 2,000 original songs. I got 78 albums out on iTunes, Spotify. Nice. Music has been my life. Now interviews are my life. And the great thing is the Greeks can't help it because the music's in us and always will be in us.
That's nice. Right. So Plastic, look, where can people find you on social media and on your show? Not Napoli on coffee mugs, but where can they tell us? Where can they find you? Give us your social media structures for people listening today. They can look you up later.
All right, go and look at 250 interviews. I haven't even had time to see them, right? On Plastic EP Live TV on Facebook. I've also got another page called Plastic EP. And my real name is Daniel Sam. If they want to be my friend on Facebook, just look at the word Daniel Sam and you'll see a 60s bubblegum rapper of the Monkees. Yeah. That's me. And if you go to YouTube, I got Plastic EP Live TV. And I got to say, guys, you've got a fantastic show here, really bringing it home for the Greeks. I don't know of any other show on the internet that does this to the Greeks, like brings them out and connects all these fantastic people. We're so close to the homeland. And I tell you what, Greece really needs shows like this that are coming out from the States talking about Greece. And I only got one more question. We got all these beautiful women underneath me. I see pictures, but there's nothing happening. What's the story with that?
At least you get to see them. I see nothing.
No, I see 4 pictures.
It's good.
Oh, you mean the guests?
Greek girls are naturally the most beautiful girls in the world. So I'll give a shout out to our Greek girls and our ladies. Our ladies are beautiful until you marry them. No, I'm kidding. Anyway,
Angelo, what I got to say while you're having a laugh is you've got to come to Australia. And I mean this sincerely, and I give you the message.
I'm coming next year.
Hey, Angelo.
When you come next year, before you come, we'll do an interview. We'll let everyone know you're coming because they all miss you here and they all love you. And I've got to say, my friend Andrea, who organizes the honey, he's one of your biggest fans.
And yes, and a shout out to Andrea. They sent me honey from Australia. Thank you, Andrea. That honey is unbelievable. My wife is tripping out over it. So thank you so much. For the Meli from Australia, from our friend Andreas. What's it called again? Let everybody know.
It's called Manuka Honey.
I
just want to say, when you come, Angelo, in my home, we're going to have one of the best Greek meals here. Andrew's going to come with his family. My in-laws are coming. My in-laws. Yeah, my sister-in-law, brother-in-law. We're going to have one of the finest meals for you here, Real Greek, at my home.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, we cannot wait because Australia loves you, Angelo, and I want you to know that. And that's a fact.
I love Australia. I'm looking forward to coming back. So from all of us, Daniel, thanks for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. People can watch this interview. You're a great guy. You got amazing stories. I wish you continued success with Plastic EP Live TV. And we're going to talk soon again for sure. And I'll give it back to Ari so he can take us out.
All right.
Thanks again, but I just want to say that name Plastikos now, I'm known in the Greek community and in Greece.
Plastikos. It's got a little bit of a dirty tinge to it, but it's okay. Oh, Plastikos.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Australia. And we're going to have this as a video and a podcast, so people will keep seeing it and hearing it. Download our app. We have an app in the Apple Store and Google Play, so you have access to Plastikos from your pocket anytime you want. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Foti, thank you. Angelo, as always, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.